This week in comic books, Dark Knight Steel proves that an eye for an eye never stops at an eye, and it's a murder spree. It's ridiculous. And then over in the land of Marvel, Iron Man and Captain America come out with issue number 2, and they're telling a story, I suppose. Not really sure. We'll dive deeper into that one. And also in the land of Independence, Fourth Man comes out, and it's good. But it's not a comic book. It's a script, and I'm going to explain why right after that intro. Hey, what's going on, you wonderful weirdos? I'm Pocan Joe, and as always, thank you so much for swinging by. Enjoy having you here. Let's dive into this week's comic books and see what we got. Right up off the bat, we're going to go ahead and talk about this Batman 119. I didn't know if I would like this story or this particular arc because we're dealing with Batman Inc. And I was like, I don't know if I want to deal with it, but there's a murder mystery with a little bit of supernatural stuff happening in the background, dealing with this character known as the Abyss. And I like this concept of two dark forces, right? A bat, right? He is the night, right? And then the Abyss, which is the emptiness, right? That is dark at the same time, and also blinding Batman in this, ironically, right? Because bats are supposedly blind or whatever. I don't know animals, but I assume so. But I really like where this is going, and then you add a little little Lex Luthor into it, being his schmug self. It's entertaining to read, and it's fun. It's got its action points, it's got its dialogue points, and there's a great narrative behind it. So I'm enjoying this Batman book. I can't believe I'm saying it. I would think I was almost Batmaned out. I really was, but I'm enjoying this. Moving on. So, pick of the week, Dark Knight Steel. I like this. This is a good caveat to that whole an eye for an eye thing, right? Jor-El is dead, killed by the Black Lightning Kingdom, if you will. So, Jor-El goes and drops the sun of Black Lightning, kills him. So now we're in the cusp of war, right? The horns are sounding for war. And our Supergirl character goes to Black Lightning and kills him, right? We thought he was going to be the driving force behind this particular war, but not so much. But we have internal conflict even as the teams get together to find out which kingdom's going to be on who, lines are being drawn as we deal with the Amazonians in this. And, of course, Wonder Woman going off to go help her friend, possibly lover in this one. Supergirl, I really like how they're trying to add as many DC characters in this, but sticking them in the right places. We have the Metal Men that were in here who got demolished and killed. We've introduced our MacGuffin, which is Kryptonite in this one, which is affecting Batman because in this storyline, he's half Kryptonian as well. He's the bastard son of Jor-El. So this is good. It hits on all those medieval storytelling marks that make a medieval story really stand out, and yet it's still keeping true to DC as well. So I think this is smartly written and very well done. I enjoy this, and the artwork in it just keeps you engaged the entire time. Let's go on to Suicide Squad. So again, we can go with Ambush Bug being a type of Deadpool character, even though he was around first. We can make that argument. And in some cases, I thought this got a little too meta, right? There was a little bit of an homage in here to our boy Stan Lee, dealing with characters he's worked with, creating a team of Avenger-type characters, and then like another team of a X-Strike, or Strike Force, or Avenger Strike. I remember it was one of those. Forget which alchemy they're following here. But, of course, it gets pointed out to you that we're using alchemies, and even Stan Lee's face is in here. I think it was a bit more of a top of a hat than a nudge, right? So that was really cool in this. And this story's can be considered convoluted. I don't think it is, though, because now we have two types of Suicide Squad out there. We have Amanda Wallard and her agenda, and we have Rick Flag that's trying to stop that agenda. And teams have been kind of divided out, and Wallard's still testing her team while Flag's like, nah, we're just going to go ahead and end this now at the perfect moment. So, yeah, I think this is good. And honestly, I picked this issue up just by sheer accident, but I love the way it catches you up on what's been happening in here with Ambush Bug talking directly to you, just to make sure you're hitting the points. So as you see them in the story, it kind of helps the story flow a little bit. It's good. One Star Squadron. I picked this up by accident, really, but I got it. I'm not particularly interested in this story. This is just middle-aged people that haven't advanced in some sort of career, their career being superheroes in this one, and they're expecting, because they were superheroes at one point, a higher level, especially Minuteman in here, right? Who gets his powers derived by his name. It's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, right? The recipe's in the title. He has to take a pill. He finds some knockoff joke pills. They don't work as well. Apparently, he doesn't understand how drug dealing works, right? It's an enforceable contract. I think I put something up on Instagram with one of those lines in there. I thought it was hilarious. But for the most part, I don't know. I'm not jiving with this story. It just seems like people living their lives and their expectations, and there's nothing grand about any of it. So, yeah. Moving into Marvel, we got Captain America and Iron Man. So we're playing off of this project with kind of like the Midwest heroes, the Sea League heroes, trying to get one of their own that went rogue. This 51, I think is what they're calling, which is an alien, a superhuman or super alien, right? And apparently he needs to work with this particular young lady. They get some outfits, some stuff that's stored away. This is just a bunch of events happening versus a flowed narrative. Or at least at this point it is for me. What do you think? Comment down below if you've read this. Am I missing something? Because it just seems like, oh look, epic event. Here's why the epic event happened. Oh look, another epic event. More fighting, right? And I get it. We like the action to it too, but I'm not being driven by the story in any way to pursue this any farther. I know that's a horrible thing to say. I guess there's a little bit of a conflict in here of the Iron Man and Captain America kind of archetype happening, and these new heroes trying to find their own way, maybe. But for the most part, I don't know. It's just not really jiving with me. Moving on. The Order of the World, Arkham City. So I need to preface it this. I hate commenting on art. It's really not my shtick. There's plenty of other YouTubers and people out there that can talk on art, and it's really not my thing. But I'm just not digging the art in this. It seems things that you kind of want to see highlighted, right? Like Dr. Phosphorus there. It's not. And it really kind of distracts from the story. And it's a good story. What we have mentally ill people here, or perceived mentally ill people, I should say, because we're finding out that maybe they're not so crazy. There's something going on here. And their idea of what normal is. And if they keep using the word normal, it makes things normal. And these perceived normal activities that people do, it's kind of really a poke at it. Because normal is a contrived statement. It doesn't really mean anything when dealing with people or society as a whole. But apparently they've been through mental health long enough to think that there is some sort of standard of normal, and their perceptions of it are nothing more than that, just perceptions. If they act the perception, then they become the perception, and that's not really how that works. That's a sign of a mentally ill mind, which is great, because that's on point, right? The 10-eyed man, well, he's the 5-eyed man now, right? As they'll chop that joker off. Who is this person that's possibly acting like Dr. Arkham himself? The Skull, is it Samuel Hunt? If you know your comic book history, that's an interesting point there. I hope they go down that road. And this whole concept that Gotham is nothing more than an amalgamation of Arkham or vice versa. It's really the same thing at the end of the day. The crazy stay in their cells because you can never escape the cell. Not in society, not in the hospital, right? So I really like that concept of it. I definitely think it broadens the story. And I love this, but I'm just not digging this art. And it's nothing against the artists. I'm just personal opinions. Moving on to Independence this week. Fourth Man. So here's why I say this is a script. And please let me know down below what you think. And I can't think of the actor's name. It has been driving me crazy. I know I've seen him in several things before. But even the artist, like, that looks like an actor to me. And I can't think of the guy's name. I know he was in Entourage. I know the guy with the beard, long back hair. He always plays like a frantic business type man. I can't think of the guy's name. Um, Nothing really supernatural going in here as of yet, as of issue one, but it's not a bad story. It's a good script. Like, I would watch this if it was a show or something like that. It's kind of a murder mystery type of thing. We find out that this private detective kind of works for a dealership who's having a problem with another dealership. So, things have to happen. And, maybe a body needs to get dropped, but the detective ends up eating it at the end of the day, getting shot in the face. So, interesting. I like the concept behind this. But as I flip through it, it's like, isn't that a young Dean Cain? Is it Dean Cain? Something Cain. Yeah. Like, all these look very similar to Stars. Maybe I'm just incorporating it. I don't know. But for the most part, it's a good story. I would probably read some more of it, but I wouldn't exactly consider this a comic book in its traditional terms, which is fine. Moving on, Monkey Meat. This is a mess. This is a mess. Something about corporate and how they get away with stuff, can even buy souls from God. The art in here, I can't depict what they're trying to show me in a lot of the scenes. There's this thing that's just erratic. Apparently at one point it wanted to, down with corporate and all that other stuff. I don't know. I guess that's a thing now. I thought that was a few years ago, but apparently that's come full circle. Yeah, I'm not really sure where this is trying to go. At first I thought it would be like a Willy Wonka type story, the way it opens up, right? Come see the secrets of the monkey meat factory, that kind of thing. But it doesn't. It just kind of, I don't know what it does. I literally read this twice, and I'm like, corporations are bad? If that's the storyline, that's fine. You're just showing me things. Like, there was a lab, some mutations, and they took advantage of it. Corporates are bad. I get it. That's a thing, I guess. I'm not really sure. And last but not least, Once in Future. If you haven't been reading Once in Future, my review of it would make no sense to you. You really have to be into this story. I dig the artwork in here. I dig the story of it. There's no doubt about that. Epic things happen in here, and it ties very much into local lore, fables, and even Arthurian type stories. If you haven't been reading it, like I said, the review of it wouldn't make much sense. If you read this comic book, you know why I like it, because I really like that kind of medieval grittiness of it, and you definitely get that in here with all the comic book woo-woo you could possibly want. All right, guys, I think that's my haul for this week. What else is going around the community here? Let's see here. Oh, we've started the Evil Lair project. I put the promo out for that. You can check that out up here. We're going to make a lightsaber, but we're going to go outside the box a little bit, and we're going to reimagine it, a lightsaber, as something that a Mandalorian would use. What would that look like? I'm going to kind of play with some concepts, definitely get some light, sound, clashes, something you can hit somebody with. We're going to play with that and see how much fun we can have with that. And pulling from the promo, we're going to pull a lot of those concepts and we're going to put it into this particular lightsaber. And this is going out to Chip Getler, Mr. White Shadow himself. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. At the end of the month, I'm going to be on In the Mix. I'm going to compete in a rap battle. I know, as awkward as that just sounded and looked, that's the world you live in right now. Now I apologize for that. So yeah, we'll have some fun with that. Also, me and another YouTuber are working on a little bit of a collab. Just having a little fun, really. I'm super excited about that. I'll start putting that together today. So yeah, a lot of things going on in the community. So definitely keep your eyes open, hit those notification bells, and sub up the ones you like the best. I think you'll have a great time. All right, guys, I got nothing else. I got to get out of here. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.